Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Jenny. I have 5 basic tips for beginner braiders and just for any service provider, anybody providing a service. I've been doing hair now for I've been doing hair for 3 years now. I started off in my house. I've been to a couple of places, salons, barbershops, and I've just had a lot of different experiences. I've met a lot of different people, old, young, people with kids, people with 5 kids. I've encountered a lot of people over the past 3 years, and I'm grateful to be able to share my experience or my tips with you guys. Just some of the things I think that are important that I've learned. The first thing that I've learned in the long run that has me where I'm at now is to put God first. Yep, I said it. It means to love him more than anyone or anything else. Or when you put God first, and like I said, this is something I've had to learn the hard way because I didn't do it. It will transform you for the good. God knows us. He knows us more than we know ourselves. He made us, so you're not gonna fail. That's just like your protection. That's your rock to lean on. That's your, hey, I messed up, I did this, but you have him to lean on instead of taking it out on your clients and taking it out on your business. Why not talk to God about it for yourself and for your business? And it will show in the long run. Yeah, it will show in the long run. It will show in your service. It will show in your work. It will show in all of those little aspects you have in your business. So yeah, put God first and everything will come according for your good. The second one I have is to serve well. In other words, keep it professional and positive. Galatians 5 verse 13. One thing I've noticed about being a hairstylist and going to other hairstylists and going to nail techs and going to lash techs and, dibbling and dabbling and all those little things. One thing people remember is how you treat them. That should be like the second thing as a service provider. It's in the name. You're a service provider. Your service. Yeah. When you go to a nail tech, when you go to a hairstylist and you leave and you go tell so-and-so, you'll be like, the first thing you'll remember is how they treated you, how they greeted you at the door, how they treated you throughout your service, how they welcomed you, how they made you feel comfortable. So just that aspect, people will remember how you treat them. And that is how you gain your clientele, how you treat them. I'm saying, like, if you're in a garage or a basement, or if you're in your kitchen, or if you're in bathroom doing hair, and your service is up there and your quality is up there, people are going to come back. They're going to want more of that service because you can go to the best environment and the best place where they do hair, but if they're treating you badly, they're not going to want to go there because why would I want somebody hands in my head that are treating me badly? Like, you're treating me bad. I don't want you to do my hair. This is a hard truth. A hard thing that I have to learn. Like, if you're gonna do anything, just keep it professional. This includes treating everyone equally. This means you can't choose to be rude to one person and then have another client come in and be super, super nice to that person just because that person looks better or that person has more money or just things like that. You have to treat everybody equally because what's gonna end up happening is you have 2 people, right? You have 2 people. You treated one person so nice and you treated one person so rude. So those 2 people are gonna go out and they're gonna explain and they're gonna gossip and they're gonna talk about how you treated them. And guess what? Word is gonna get around that you're treating one person a certain way and then you're treating another person a certain way. It's not gonna. It's just what it is. It's gonna cause confusion. And people don't like that. Some of it will be true and some of it will be false, but the truth overpowers. If there's more people telling the truth, there's more people saying one thing than another, then that's going to be the truth. Like, also goes for having proper rules and boundaries. You cannot have a $20 deposit for one person and then somebody doesn't want to pay the deposit. No, you can't take that person, because what's going to end up happening is that they know they can slide with you, so they're going to continue trying to slide. If you have a late fee and you let that person slide, they're going to continue to try to slide, because it's common sense. Like, not saying that I would do it, but if somebody knows, like, oh, so-and-so don't care if I pay the deposit, so I'm not going to pay the deposit this time, and she's just going to have to deal with it. They know who to do that with. But I know so-and-so, she don't play. She's going to make sure I pay that $20 deposit, or there's going to be no appointment. You know who to play with, and you know who not to play with. It's just that. Family as well. Family, friends, everybody. Business is business. Yo, my mom just walked in and I told her to walk back out. I'm in her room. But the third thing is you cannot be greedy, okay? You can't be greedy. Do not be greedy, but charge your worth. I'll put a verse up above about this. When you're being greedy, the money will never be enough. It will turn into an endless cycle. I got 2,000. Let me see if I can get 4. I got 4,000. Let me see if I can make it to 10. I got 10,000. Let me see if I can make it to 100. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's never going to be enough money for you. It's never going to be enough. So you cannot be greedy. Just because you're in charge does not mean you get to overcharge. Just because you're in charge of the price does not mean you get to overcharge, okay? People will start to pick up on this, and people will call you out on it. And this is why I think braiders are getting so much hate. You know what I mean? Like, there's people out here just not being realistic with your price. You can't overcharge, but then again, you can't undercharge yourself. People are scared to lose their clientele, and they're scared to lose their money, but people will pay. People will pay your price. And if you put your trust in God, you have to trust that God will give you that clientele. God will give you that money. Okay, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if it's for you, you will have it. When setting your price, you have to take into account the hours, the expense, the labor, the space you're working in. You have to write that all down on paper. Just write it all down. Write down how much time you're braiding. Write down the labor. Write down the environment you're working in. Write down your service. Write it all down. And you have to judge it like you are the client. If I'm a client and I'm coming here, how much would I pay? How much would I be willing to pay for this service? You know what I mean? You have to make a fair price. You have to judge it fairly. Do what you got to do. Do your research. Do all that. Do your research on how much people around you are charging. You just have to write it down on paper. Do your research, and then you will get a fair price. Get another braider's opinion, and then you have to stand on that price. Number 4 is you have to buy in bulk. Buy your hair in bulk. That's the secret. Stop going to the hair stores to get like 4 packs of hair for every client. You're wasting your money. When you buy in larger quantities, suppliers may offer a discounted price or a lower wholesale price. This will be saving you both product costs and the transportation costs. Think about how much the product costs. Again, just write it down on paper. Think about how much the hair costs. Think about how much gas you have to, or Uber you have to pay to get to the hair store. Just things like that. Write down how much you're making or how much you're spending when you're going to the hair store, doing all that stuff, taking the rides. Compare that to the price you have with buying in bulk and all that stuff that comes with buying in bulk. How much it takes out of your paycheck, how much that takes out of your paycheck, how much that costs a month, how much that costs a month, how much does that cost a week, how much does that cost a week, how much does a hair in bulk product in bulk last, how much does that last? Just things like that. You have to write all that down in paper, and then when you see it for yourself on paper, it'll be easier to judge which one is really taking all my money, which one is saving my money. With the buying in bulk, you could be saving so much more money. You could be putting that up in your savings account for a vacation or for what do they call it, retirement. You can just save that money. For 5, I have prioritize yourself. This is also one thing I had to learn the hard way. You have to prioritize yourself. You are a human, okay? Just like they clock out at Subway, you have to clock out as a braider, okay? That means no texting, no answering calls. You have to have a certain amount of time where you stop. I used to work on my off days. I used to reply to text on my off days. No. When you clock out for good. It's not fair to get off the clock and then have to respond to text. So what if them people gonna be mad? So what? It will save you the headache. Honestly, it will save you the headache. I wrote down, you will burn out from endless hours of working. Especially as a braider, you will burn out. You will burn out. Your service quality and your service in general will start to lower slowly, and you will start to not care about how your work looks. You will start to not care how you talk to people. This is something I had to learn the hard way. I was there, okay? I'm gonna admit my mistakes. I was there. Yeah, I was there. I started to not care. I didn't care, and I'm a good braider, but when I get clients every day, I will start to mess up. Like, somebody braid's gonna come out looking messed up. 1 out of the 5 of y'all, one of y'all hair is not gonna be, and I'm charging the same price, so that's not fair. You have to prioritize yourself, to prioritize your clients. To also learn, you are in charge of your schedule. You are in charge of your schedule. You do not have to overwork yourself. I personally used to take 2 to 3 clients a day, 5 days a week. 5 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week, just to have more money in a week. But as time goes by, months go by, years go by, you will just not end up liking your job. You will go to work and just start treating people any type of way. You will go to work and do your work any type of way, because you will just start to not care because you're not prioritizing yourself. You're not prioritizing yourself. I found out that doing hair for me, it cannot be an everyday thing. To now, like, where I see when I take like 2 clients a week, it's better for the client and me, because the work I'm doing looks better. The service I'm providing is better. And everything is just better when you prioritize yourself. So you have to fix your schedule up to where you're at mentally. If you have another job, you have to fix that as well. If you really like doing what you're doing, okay. But if you don't fill up your schedule just because you need the money. You're gonna end up hurting your clientele and your reputation in the long run. Remember, guys, people talk and word gets around, and it's kind of hard for, once people have like a bad taste in their mouth for you, it's kind of hard to get that out. You know, it's not impossible, but it's really, really hard to get that out. I wrote down less people, less interactions, less draining. All that is more energy for those 2 people that I have a week. So guys, you just have to think, okay? Come on, let's use common sense. Let's do some research. Let's stop being lazy. Write it down on paper and get it down, okay? You will make mistakes. Mistakes is how we grow. And without mistakes, we won't grow. So don't be scared when you do have those mistakes. Don't be discouraged when you do have those mistakes, because mistakes will happen. And I just wanted to help you guys from making the mistakes I've made over the past few years. Goodbye. See you in the next video.